Hey everyone, this is something that I've been wanting to make for a little while. Basically an introduction to what the heck is Dota 2. It's a great time. Right now we're in the group stages of one of their biggest tournaments called the International. So this is where all teams from across the world are competing for huge amounts of prize pool. I forget what it is this year. It's like $30 million, $40 million. It's a lot of money. So it's something I get really excited watching. I watch a lot of streams for it personally, and I play very rarely. I would like to play more, but honestly, it makes me a little bit nervous. So I wanted to have this as sort of a tutorial for what Dota is. So when I have streams, or if I stream this more regularly, I can point to this video and be like, this is it. So, the beginning of Dota is a phase where we're going to be picking and banning heroes. Out of the heroes in the game, this is the entire hero pool. It's a lot. There's something like 118, and they're governed by their core attributes, which I'm not really going to get into. I want to keep this as simple as possible. So in this case, we have teams who are drafting. So this is captain's mode, which is what the professional teams do. You will not see this in the games that I play. It's a lot quicker. Basically, the teams are going to say, you cannot play these heroes. We are taking these heroes. And then it continues. These heroes are banned. These heroes are picked. Some heroes are a lot stronger in the meta, so they just get banned. Some teams are really good with specific heroes, so those are banned. And some players are basically known for specific heroes. So, not going to focus too much on this. But let's talk a little bit about the different hero roles as long as we're going through with this. A little bit of a graphics bug here that we can't actually see the heroes. The replays are occasionally a little bit wonky. So there's three basic roles of heroes. You have your carries, your cores, and your supports. So your carries are your most important heroes. They're your rock stars, they're your heavy lifters, but it takes them a long time to come online. Actually, I'm gonna jump to the game for this explanation. Your cores are your heroes that are initiating. They're jumping into fights. They're getting things started. They're kind of pushing where the action is. And then there are supports who, I would say are the most important. No, it's a little bit of a inside baseball there for the humor on that. So on Quincy Crew here, we have Legion Commander, we've got an Elder Titan, we've got a Void Spirit, we have a Terror Blade, and we have a Weaver. And we have a couple more visual bugs. It's pretty cool, but that's fine. This portrait should show the hero I'm selecting. Whatever. Let me free camera. Actually, let's do player view. Still visual bugs, whatever. So in this case, our Terror Blade, this guy right here, he is going to be our core. So he's going to be doing a lot of what they call farming. The supports, as I mentioned, so like this Elder Titan and maybe this Void Spirit, but definitely this Disruptor on the other team, on Team Secret, who I'm rooting for in this game. I don't know the outcome, but I hope Team Secret wins. Their job is to provide vision for the team and allow the cores to do their jobs safely. So in a lot of ways, they're responsible for putting stuns on the enemy team, controlling the pacing of fights, and very often you will see the supports being the team captains. So they're also the shot callers. They're saying, this is what we need to do. This is where we need to go. Go here. Don't go here. Pursue this objective. So before we let the game continue, let's talk a lot about this map, because this map is it's complicated. So I'm actually gonna let this go forward a little bit. Oh wow. Okay. Both teams are starting off with a smoke, which you see this icon. They bought an item. It makes you invisible. Not a big deal. There's also announcer packs and things like that. So I have the Rick and Morty announcer pack going. Not quite sure how well that's coming across here. But it's telling you, yeah, you can get different announcers for what you want to do. So Right here, what they did... Okay, it is letting me free cam. What they did is they placed one of these guys. This is an observer ward, and this provides vision for their team in a specific area. So let me free cam, observer ward. It's not gonna let me do that. Okay, whatever. Broadcaster. Okay, no, whatever. It provides about like this much vision. It is blocked by trees and such. Okay. Free cam. Still can't box drag or anything like that, but whatever. So you can see it provides a good amount of vision through the map. And these are invisible to the enemy team, so they have to have something that lets them break that invisibility. But I'm waiting for this timer. So the game doesn't... You technically start with 1.5 minutes, which may seem kind of weird, but it makes sense in a little bit, trust me. So let's follow this Disruptor around for a bit, because he's being played by Puppy, and I love Puppy. He's just rockstar dude overall. So in 30 seconds, what's going to happen is the creeps will spawn. And this is big deal about this game is the creeps, the neutral creeps, ancient creeps, and a lot of the buildings. So as soon as that happens, which I could like go forward a bit, so let's just fast forward this. Boop-a-doop. So there's the starting horn, and we also have so let's talk about these bounty runes, the river runes, and all that good stuff too. So at minute 0, at the start of the game, right here is what they call a rune spot. And then also, over here is another rune spot. So at the start of the game, runes will show up here that give both teams money. Every 5 minutes, they show up here, and over here, same thing, gives the team money. Whoever picks up the rune gives the money for the team. So if you can snipe the enemy's runes, you can get those. After the start of the game, every 2 minutes, a rune will either show up at the top or bottom, except for the first 4 minutes, in case, in which case it shows up both just to keep things balanced. So runes show up, hooray! Now this is where the game finally starts. We have these guys. We have melee creeps and ranged creep. So the biggest thing about this game, what the heck is the point? The point of this game is to destroy this building. Whoever destroys this building, called the Ancient, wins the game. So whatever you can do to kill it, great. That just takes a while, because in between the Ancient, you have these towers, and they're placed right in front of it, right in front of these buildings, in the middle of a lane, in the middle of a lane, and across these other lanes. So these paths, outside the edge of the map and through the middle of the map, are called lanes, and that's where these neutral creeps run. Or not neutral creeps, these are creeps. I was saying neutral because these are AI-controlled units, these melee creeps are, and the ranged creep. So their whole job is just to run down the middle of the lane and fight whatever gets in their way. There's no AI behind it. They just go and they fight and they brawl. So what he's doing here is he's trying to block these creeps, so that way the equilibrium, is what they call it, where the creeps meet, will be right here. When you kill these creeps, if you're the last person to hit them, you get money for it. If anything else kills them, you do not get money for it. The green/blue creeps, because I'm colorblind, come from this side. The red creeps come from this side. You can kill your own creeps if you want to. And you can do that starting when they're at half health. And if you kill your own creep, then you get some of their experience, and your enemy doesn't get some of their experience. And most importantly, the enemy does not get the money for it. So you are playing a game where it's like, okay, I'm trying to kill all of my own guys and kill all of the enemy guys. If you can kill them the most, good for you. And the creeps are also very important, because once the creep equilibrium starts pushing towards the tower. So basically, if nobody interfered, the creeps would be hitting right here. On these other lanes, the creeps hit about here. It's a little bit uneven. That's to give an advantage based on the different lane. I could talk about that later, and I might just. But basically, as you kill creeps, if you kill them unevenly, they'll start pushing. They'll start pushing and meeting here. And when they start meeting around this tower, the tower will take shots. The tower range is about something like this. And on the Dire, it's the same range, but it's about something like that. The tower, again, not controlled by anyone. So the tower is just going to shoot whatever's there. If there's a creep there, that means that the heroes can hit the tower. So you're trying to push the creeps into the towers so that you can destroy the towers. You destroy that one, you destroy this one, and then you get here, destroy this one, which is protecting these two buildings. These are called the barracks. If you destroy the barracks, your team's creeps get stronger down that lane. Your team's creeps being stronger means that they push harder, meaning that you can get closer to these two towers, meaning you can destroy the Ancient. So the name of the game is a little bit of farming creeps and a little bit of protecting your own creeps. So here we see the tower. It's taking pot shots at the Dire creeps. This team, whoever is at this side of the map is called the Dire. Whoever's on this side of the map is called the Radiant. A little bit of inside baseball there. So why are they trying to farm these creeps? Great question. They're trying to farm these creeps because this game has items, which I don't think I can pull up the store, I guess. So we'll just use this for example. So right now he has these items. As the game goes on, you want to buy more and more items, and these items allow you to do anything. It's crazy. So at the start, oh cool, we can see what items he has queued up. So like at the start, you have stat items that make your character slightly better, like slightly more health, slightly more damage, slightly more armor, a little bit faster maybe. As the game progresses, they do things like stop your opponents from being able to cast a spell, make it so that you can't be targeted by any magic, make it so you can't be targeted by anything physical. Make it so you can pop out multiple copies of yourself. Basically, there's for every hero, there's like 1.5 items, pretty much. Both teams have access to all the same items, and you get a feel for knowing what you want to build and what you have to build. A lot of it, there are core items for each hero. Like you can see here, all of this stuff is really standard for him to build. But as the game progresses, there are specific items that you may or may not want to try and counter what the enemy team is doing, or to try and counter what their items are doing. So itemization is very important. Killing the creeps gets you money. Money lets you buy items. Another important thing is the item delivery service, which are these little guys. These are called the couriers. And what they do is they sit around in base, waiting for you to buy something, and then they waddle down into the lane, or later on, they fly down into the lane and give you your shit. If the enemy is able to kill your courier, then the enemy team gets a bunch of money. Hooray. It's really kind of rare. Hey, there we go. Now we got flying couriers. It's kind of rare for an enemy to kill your courier, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on, as well as everything else. So I mean, yeah, that's the basic part of the game. Oh yeah, also killing heroes. So up here we have a scoreboard. It's currently 0-0. Not a lot of action happening in this mid lane. They're just farming. They're also trying to what's the word for it? They're chipping away at each other. They're doing a little bit of damage at a time, just trying to harass. That's the word I'm looking for. You're trying to harass your opponent. Make the decision of, do I go for the creep, or do I, get out of range of your attacks by sitting over here? Yeah, I can box drag now. Sweet. Yeah, basically just trying to get them a little bit out of the lane, or a little bit unsure, do enough damage where if somebody were to come from this other lane, like this Weaver here, they may be able to kill this guy. So what the Weaver was doing was he was checking runes, but he could also come in for rotations. So that's where somebody comes from a lane. So like, if this Void Spirit were to jump over here and like try and kill some people over here, it's said that he's rotated to this lane to try and get a kill. That's generally a really good idea as soon as you start to have a big advantage. The mid lane is best for getting a lot of experience on someone, because there are no other heroes around. Experience is shared between all heroes within range of the creeps. So these are the guys that you want to have a lot of levels on and a good amount of farm on. This bottom lane here, this is called the safe lane, and it's safe because the creeps meet about here. So if you wanted to come in and backstab, try and like fight these guys where they don't have the protection of their tower, it's going to be hard. They have a lot of good vision of where the opponents are coming from, and they can just hide underneath their tower, hide in here. So this is where you put your carry, which is what I was saying before this Terrorblade is. So you want him to get the most amount of farm here, and generally speaking, you're going to be placing him with a support. So up here for Team Secret, this Gyrocopter is the carry. Puppy is the support. Now, I've been saying carry and support and core roles. These are divided into numbers 1 through 5, and that's the farm priority. So basically, if whoever's in the safe lane, their farm priority number 1. So you may hear them like, okay, he's a 1. And that means if he shows up somewhere else and he says, yo, I want this farm, you give it to him, no questions asked. Puppy, who's playing the Disruptor here, he is farm priority number 5, which means he takes nothing. The supports, the position 5s, are the poorest people in the game. So their whole job is to not die and buy these wards, buy support items, and just try and stay alive. Shoot. So this is what I was saying much earlier. This allows you to see invisible units, the sentry ward. So you put that down there, saw their sentry ward there, and dewarded. Cool. Yeah, so their whole job is stay alive, keep the carry safe, take as little money off the map as possible, and in some cases, try and provide extra money for their cores. How can you provide extra money? Something I haven't touched on. Hey, look, there are creeps in the jungle that aren't doing shit. Anywhere that's not a lane, so like anywhere where these guys aren't going, is referred to as the jungle. I'm gonna take a sip of water here. This is a lot. I know. I'm sorry. Jungle has these neutral creeps, and if I hold down Alt here, hey, I can actually show you the range of shit with Alt. Look at me. I'm semi-professional. So this is the range of a tower. This is the range of the sentry ward right here, and this is the neutral creep spawn box. So as long as nothing is in this box at the start of every minute, it's fun. I should keep track of that. Neutral creeps will spawn. And there are easy camps, which is this one. There are medium neutral creeps, which is here. And there's kind of the difficult neutral creeps. I think are there and there. I don't really remember which one's the hard camp. But I definitely know that these are the ancient creeps. These are really hard to kill. And these guys have an aggro leash on them. So if you come and you attack these guys, what they're going to do is they're going to come out into the middle of the lane. There's a way for me to do this. I forget. There's a way for me to draw. I don't usually do a lot of observing. So they'll come out to like here. And if you hit them at the right time, you take them out of this spawn box. And because there's nothing in the box, hey, more stuff is going to spawn. And the guys who are over here are going to come back. That's called stacking. So the job of a support, like our friend Disruptor over here, a lot of times you'll see them stacking the neutral camps. And the whole point of that is get more money for your cores. So I think that's kind of the basics, is farming, rotating, stack the jungle, and trying to get money for your cores. So here, Nisha is farming the neutral camp. Neutrals also drop these neutral items. I don't think we have any of those on the field just yet. I guess I can go around and check. Okay, cool, we do. So you just focus on Terrorblade here. We have this Tumbler's toy. They found a broom handle. So the neutral creeps drop items. And they drop 5 items based on the time of the game that get stronger throughout the game. So there is another advantage besides just experience and gold that they drop to farming those neutral creeps. Some of those items can really change the pace of the game, but it's mostly as the game goes on later and later. So we just saw here They had a push with this creep wave. Terrorblade is able to create illusions of himself. So they really pushed down that tower. So now that this tower's gone, just going to pause the game for a bit. We call that the outer tower. So one of the outer towers is gone on the safe lane, no less, which is bad. So the Dire no longer has vision up here. The tower that was providing vision is gone. So let's fog the Dire team. Or fog the Radiant? No. Fog the Dire. Just doesn't look like it's working. Do they have an obs somewhere? Observer board? Whatever. Doesn't really matter. Fog bolt. There we go. Alright. So now they don't have this vision here, which means it's a little bit safer for the enemy team, for the Radiant. So for Terrorblade and his friends up here to come in and invade this jungle, start taking over here. Now if that Gyrocopter and Disruptor who are over here start farming over here, all of a sudden the Radiant team can come up through this staircase, and really kind of come in and backstab them. So it's become a lot less safe to farm out here. So it's very important to take these outer towers. Again, for the Radiant team, for the Dire team, taking this, same thing. This jungle, which was previously protected, is now a little bit more open if they take this tower. So now there's less places to run. So if you're out here farming, a bunch of people can come up here and just gank the shit out of you. Highly undesirable. Let's talk about the triangles and Roshan. So the triangle is in your off lane. So this is the off lane for the Dire, and this one is the off lane for the Radiant. The off lane is where you put your other core, your positions like 2 or 3, which are generally your initiators and your playmakers. So they get some amount of money, some amount of experience, but they're not as important. But the off lane is where triangle sits. It's called your triangle because you have neutral camp, neutral camp, neutral camp. So a lot of times your core is just going to sit, and it's just going to sit and farm these over and over and over again. They might go out, farm some lane creeps, come back here, farm the triangle. Minute passes, oh hey, these guys are back, farm the triangle. So it's a very important area to have vision and to protect so that the enemy doesn't start invading it. There's also this big boy. This big boy is called Roshan, and he holds the Aegis of the Immortal. He is the biggest neutral creep. You generally need like 2 or 3 people to specifically go and kill him. He is very strong. Once you do kill him, you get this item, the Aegis of the Immortal. And for the next 5 minutes, if you would die and you have this in your inventory, you come back to life in 3 seconds, full health. So a lot of the game is basically how many people are on your team versus how many people are on the enemy team. So if somebody dies on the enemy team, like if the Terrorblade dies, then it's 5-on-4 on the field. Bad situation. If you're holding the Aegis, you have an effective 6-on-4. So you can start doing some really goofy shit and pushing where you shouldn't push. It's a very powerful item. Later on, he also drops some other pretty significant upgrades. The more you kill him, the more he drops. But also, you know, as time goes on, the tougher he gets. Wow. IO has a mech already. It's pretty good. One thing you can only see in Observer mode is the gold lead, which is right here. There's also another way of seeing it, but I forget because, like I said, I don't spectate much. Oh, here it is. So here's the gold graph. You can see how the teams are progressing as far as gold goes. Also experience. So, like, yeah, it gives you a good feel of how the game is flowing. But basically, if you're just watching, this is what you want to go by. This scoreboard means next to nothing compared to the total gold. So this team is 2,000 gold ahead at about 12 minutes into the game. That's not a lot. It's a pretty close game. So they may have 8 kills compared to the other team's 3 kills. That's what these are showing, is hero kills. But the other team, the Dire team, Team Secret, go Team Secret, has been farming more efficiently. So they have, well, they've been dying more. They have a good amount of income coming from other places, and that's important. What's also important is where the gold is spread out. So if we look at current gold, we want net worth. Okay, so actually, never mind. So the net worth is how much gold you have on hand. So this number here, this is your gold, combined with how much all of your items are worth, and whatever's in your stash, I believe, counts too. So this is your indication of how strong everyone is on the team. So like I said, Disruptor down here, Puppy, he's the bottom. That's where you want your supports to be. At the top, we have our mid and our core from Quincy. That's where you want your core to be, is on top. And this is 12 or 13 minutes into the games. A lot of times the carries take like 20 or 30 minutes to really start getting powerful. So they're doing a good job. They have the top 2 positions on the net worth graph. The next 3 are dire, but that's kind of meh for them. So like at this point in the game, it seems like Quincy's doing pretty well. They only have a 1k net worth lead, so again, it's hard to judge. I would say this game's pretty close, but based on the net worth, based on what Terrorblade is getting out of this game so far, he's looking rosy. It's looking good for Quincy Crew based on the fact that their core has a lot of farm. So here he is farming the jungle, like I said, just trying to buy all the items he can get that are good in this game. So gosh, trying to think if there's any kind of core things that I've left out here. Covered visions, rotating ganks, the neutrals, the lane creeps. The ranged creeps are a little bit weaker, but they deal more damage. So they have less hit points and less armor, so they deal damage to the creeps that are out here. So they will push a lane more if you leave the ranged creep. They also provide a little bit more golden experience. So if you're trying to push a wave, you kill the ranged creep first. If you're trying to pull a wave, you want to kill your own ranged creeps first. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with like aggro, which gets super fancy. Not getting into that because again, I'm trying to keep this as basic as possible. So with that said, let's actually talk about the heroes in this game. Now that we're 15 minutes in, let's talk about the heroes. Every single hero in this game has about 4 abilities. I say about because there's shitloads of exceptions. Basically, if you're playing Dota, one of the things to keep in mind, every rule has an exception. So this guy, look, he has 4 abilities. If we go over to Io, bad example. He has 4 abilities. He used to have more. I don't think there's anyone in this game who has 5. Does Elder Titan? No. Cool. Anyway, fuck me. So all these heroes all have distinct different abilities. And there's, like I said, I think 110, 120 heroes, give or take. And the onus is on you to know what every single hero does. When you're playing a game, it is expected, no matter what the enemy team picks, that you know all of these abilities, what they do, and how they synergize. So let's go over Terrorblade. Its first ability is Reflection. So Reflection, what that is going to do is it creates illusions of the enemy heroes that are within this radius, within this green circle that is being displayed. And it lasts 5 seconds, they deal some amount of damage, they slow down the enemy heroes. His W is Conjure Image, which is one of the things that lets him create illusions of him. The other thing is this Manta Style, one of the items that he has. So we'll wait for him to pop it because it should be relatively soon where he pops Reflection, as well as probably his Metamorphosis. So big fight happening. Things. So there's the Metamorphosis, there's the Manta Style. No pop on the Reflection, but he's going in hard, he sunders. There's a Reflection popped. So you see this illusion that came out of him, that was the Reflection. Reflection lets him just create an illusion of himself. Whatever form he's currently in, makes an illusion. It takes a lot more damage because it's a fake version. It deals less damage because it's a fake version. But it's great for farming, and it's great for dealing damage. Now he's going to port home. So you have these, or port wherever. This slot is for your teleportation scrolls, TP scrolls. They just let you teleport anywhere that you have a friendly building on the map. Let's talk about the fountain really quick, because I haven't. When you die, or when you teleport just neutrally like back home, you wind up here, which is the fountain. And the fountain gives you all, like, a ton of health, a ton of regen, a ton of mana, like, bam, 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 right away. It's great. There is also mana, so you see here, this is Terrorblade's mana pool, and it's really low because he is an agility hero, so he's not that smart. So it's important that he conserves it. So you see it costs 45 mana to do a reflection, 85 for him to conjure image, 100 to pop meta, and 100 to sunder. Right now he has 160, like 170, slowly going up. So you get the picture. He can't do all of his abilities all the time because there's a restriction on that. Now his Metamorphosis is really cool ability. It turns him into a demon. It makes it so that instead of being a melee hero where you can only bat people that are right next to him, it makes him into a ranged hero, so he could throw little fireballs and shit. It also improves his base attack time. It makes it so he does a lot more damage. It's great. It also has a cooldown, so you see at the very bottom here where it says 155, 100, I can't hover over it. It has a cooldown of 155 seconds. So you can only use it once, and then you have to wait. So it's got 31 seconds left before he can do it again. So conjure image, only 16 seconds. So bam, he pops it. 16 seconds later, he can pop it again. This guy's off to farm this camp while he goes and starts to buy a Scotty image. Ooh, 20-minute Scotty? Not bad. Sunder is his last ability, and Sunder makes it so that he swaps his health with an enemy. So you get this guy down to 10% health, and he goes, actually, you know what? I'm taking all of your health. We've got Void Spirit. Void Spirit, currently dead. So he can Aether Remnant. Yeah, that's the one where he taunts you. So he makes a little guy that has a line, and if you walk across that line, you're pulled towards it. Assimilate is one where he creates little circles on the ground, and he can pop up on any of those circles, so it's a great escape skill, decent initiation. Resonant Pulse, he puts some armor around himself, so let's follow him here. And then Astral Step. So that was the Resonant Pulse that he did. So it does a little bit of damage, puts a shield around him that absorbs some damage. This Astral Step lets him just go in a straight line and deal damage across everything. This 2 next to it means it has 2 charges, so that's what that means. Legion Commander. Okay, so this hero has something that's pretty cool about her. So, overwhelming odds deals damage based on however many units are in the area. Press the attack, removes any debuffs that are on you. So, like, if somebody stuns you, if somebody poisons you, you just press the attack on them, bam, they're back in fighting form. It also makes it so you attack faster, and you get a shitload of hit point regen. So instead of this 13.7, she uses press the attack. Now it's plus 60 for the next 5 seconds. So it gets you a lot of health. Moment of Courage. That makes it so whenever you're attacked, there's a chance that you counterattack with some lifesteal, which is very nice. And then Duel. So Duel has this tiny little range around it. You see how small that circle is. The enemy fights you. They're forced to fight you for like 5 seconds. And if you win that, you get bonus damage. So right now, Legion Commander has won, let's see, that would be 2 level 2 duels, looks like. So for 40 bonus damage. And I should be talking about levels, but let's go over the rest of the Radiant team. So there's the duel on the Disruptor. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Another 20 damage for Legion Commander. Weaver. So Weaver has the Swarm, which sends out a swarm of bugs. If they latch onto you, they'll deal damage and they'll reduce your armor. Armor, of course, works like you would think it would. It just reduces the amount of physical damage you take.
Radiant just fortified their structures.
Chikuchi lets Weaver just kind of like run around invisible a little bit faster, dealing damage to anything he touches. Then there's Geminate Attack, which basically doubles his attack. So he shoots out 2 attacks instead of 1 every 9, 7, 5, or 3 seconds, depending on the level. And Time Lapse, which lets him go back in time. It warps him back to, does it say how long it is? 5 seconds earlier. So wherever you were, however much health you had, however much mana you had, it pops you back there 5 seconds ago. It's a great escape tool. And then Elder Titan, my boy. Focus. There we go. He has Echo Stomp, which puts an enemy to sleep. So if it hits you, you're asleep. You can't do anything until you're attacked. With a duration of 5 seconds. Astral Spirit, which lets him send out an astral projection of himself, and for everything it touches, he gets bonus damage. natural order, anything within that tiny little radius, they lose all of their armor and all of their magic resistance. So let's look at Terrorblade over here. Terrorblade currently has 37 armor. That 37 armor means that he is taking about 70% less damage from anything physical that would attack him. You can see that under the defense stat there. If Elder Titan were next to him and on the enemy team, he loses all of that and just becomes super easy to kill. So that's part of the reason why Elder Titan is so valuable. And then this last ability is Earth Splitter, which deals percentage-based health to each opponent and does a pretty big movement slow. It's really clumsy to use, so it's very hard to hit. You usually need a setup for it. These little pips underneath there are what level the different abilities. So Terrorblade is pretty much maxed out, but somebody like my friend Disruptor over here doesn't have all of his skills maxed out yet. So these three are your main abilities, your bread and butter abilities. So you can level these up whenever. This one is your ultimate ability. Whatever the last one is generally your ultimate, and you can only level it up on level starting at levels 6, 12, and 18. You can choose not to level them up and to pick them up later, which is the case. Some heroes definitely do want to do that. But generally speaking, you want it as soon as possible because it's pretty much always a really strong ability. You can't level up the same ability to... how to phrase this. If you're level 1 and you take an ability, you're compelled to take another ability at level 2. Basically, you can't like stack up to level 4 right away. You have to wait until like level 8 to be able to stack up to level 4 on something. So you have to spread out your abilities kind of, but you can choose which one is your favorite. It's a little bit complicated, but generally that leads to things that people call builds. So like in this case, you probably started off with Thunderstrike, went into Kinetic Field for 1 value point, and then maxed out Glimpse because Glimpse is a good ability, and then kind of alternated between these two. So you can see he hasn't maxed out Thunderstrike because he doesn't value that highly compared to other abilities. He also has 1,400 gold with nothing queued up, so ain't that a curious thing. Maybe under player cam, you get to see it. Okay, yeah, there we go. So he's building a Solar Crest, very good support item. Way to go, puppy.
Stupendous.
All right, so heroes on the Dire team, and as we're looking here, net worth, just to keep that in mind. Our friend the Terrorblade doing very well, but now the Dire team, they've started to come online. This Gyrocopter is pretty damn close to that Terrorblade. The Storm Spirit has overtaken the Void Spirit. Slardar is above the Legion Commander, and the supports don't really matter. They're running like a support-looking Weaver, a position 4 Weaver. That's fucked up, man. Don't do that. No, they're professionals. They know way more about what they're doing than I do. 3k net worth lead to the Dire, though. Game's turned around a little bit. Go, puppy! You see here, they're taking out Roshan. They're going to get the Aegis of the Immortal if they can finish it. And that's probably going to go to Metamorphosis here, our Gyrocopter. So Roshan dies, Metamorphosis picks up the Aegis. He's got the Aegis in his inventory, along with a bunch of other bullshit. Good for him. Alright. Disruptor. Disruptor puts a little orb above you that shocks you. He sends you back to where you were 4 seconds ago. Really good positioning tool. Really good. And huge range on it. This one, he puts a little arena around you that you can't move out of. And this one, he puts down a Static Storm, which is just a large DPS spell that also makes it so you can't cast your spells. It mutes you. Or it silences you, not mute. There's a difference. Io. So Io, he creates a little leash between himself and somebody else, usually the carry, so that's what this is. And they share the regeneration that they get from it. So if Gyrocopter heals, it heals Io. If Io heals, it heals Gyrocopter. And it heals them for more than what you're healing yourself. So he's built up a bunch of different healing items. Overcharge makes it so you get more attack speed, more health regen, just for being leashed to Io. And this last one, Relocate, after a short delay, he pops over to anywhere on the map that he wants to be. So if there's a fight happening way over on the other side of the map and you have an Io tethered to you, bam, now it's happening right in front of your face. It's awesome. Storm Spirit, our mid hero, who we were looking at for a while there, Nisha. Static Remnant, he creates a little copy of himself. If anything gets close to it, it explodes, deals damage. Electric Vortex, he sucks people in. So generally, you put down a Remnant, and then you suck people in towards it to disable. Whenever he casts a spell, he gets a little thing that lets him deal extra damage with a little bit of a slow attached to it. And his final one is Ball Lightning, which lets him zip across the map. So if you just see a ball of energy flying across the map, that's Storm Spirit. Slardar, he's a very good controlling hero. So he has Guardian Sprint, which lets him move faster. Slithering Crush, which stuns the enemy hero. Bash of the Deep, which makes it so that after 3 attacks, he's guaranteed to bash the enemy hero. Bash is the same as stun in this case. And Corrosive Haze, which reduces the enemy's armor. And finally, we have Gyrocopter, who has the Aegis of the Immortal for another 3 minutes. So he shoots out just a shitload of rockets in a very close range. Anything next to the rockets takes a ton of damage. So there it is. Rocket barrage. Bam, 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 bam. Rockets. He also can shoot out a homing missile. And this is a little missile that comes up and it follows you. It doesn't care how far across the map you are. It follows you, and if it hits you, it stuns you. You can kill it. Generally, it's kind of not worth it. And then Flak Cannon. Flak Cannon, anything within that AoE, he attacks as long as this is active. So it lets him farm really fast. So you just saw there, he took down a whole creep wave just by pressing W or E or whatever he has it bound to. And then Call Down, he shoots down a rocket, and it explodes, dealing damage, slows the enemy, and then it shoots down a second rocket that deals a little bit more. So let's switch to the directed cam, because the directed cams basically say, like, here's what we think you should be looking. So we have smokes coming from both teams. So both teams are looking to fight in this situation. Now I'm going into a little bit more caster mode. So both teams are looking for a fight. They're not going to find each other because the Dire team here has rotated into the Radiant jungle. The Radiant team has rotated into the Dire jungle. So they should be looking for an objective here to try and capitalize off of this smoke. Gyro farming the enemy jungle. Slardar kind of helping them out with that. They're capturing this shrine here, which lets them teleport to it as though it were a building that they controlled. So it's pretty nice. Yeah, we just want directed game here. Alright, so here we have a big fight breaking out. The Void Spirit, he got locked down by Gyrocopter. Slardar turns on his BKB, which makes it so he can't be targeted by spells. The Weaver pings him a little bit. He somehow... yeah, he got Lotus, so he has minus armor on himself. Gyrocopter chasing down the enemy team, looking for something here. They already control that shrine, so they have the vision there. Both teams very close to each other in this jungle, so we could be seeing something happening pretty soon here. Oh, interesting, yeah. So he has the Aghanim Shard, which makes it so he can cast his first ability, that little electric shock, on an allied hero. It increases the radius, and every time that it shocks, which is 1 second for 4 seconds, it gives him a little bit of a speed boost. So it's a great chasing. So we see a bit of a disengage here. The Radiant team is still clumped up around the Dire jungle, but Void Spirit's down, so they're not looking for a fight right now. Storm Spirit also down, but they want to be strong. So we see here there's a call out from, who is that? There's a call out from Slardar, like, yo, they're in their jungle. You can see them circle here, saying like, this is where we think they are, or this is something of importance. It's hard to say without their communications. Gyrocopter just bought a Satanic. That's going to be a great help in fight. So this item lets him lifesteal. It's something ridiculous. 200%. So for every 1 damage he does, he heals 3 hit points. And this guy is capable of pumping out a ton of damage. So right now, Dire are kind of consolidating. They're a little bit split. Radiant is all together. So again, this would be a great opportunity for a fight to break out for the Radiant team. They're trying to recapture this shrine, coming at it. But here comes the Gyrocopter. He sees the Weaver. Disabled by the Void Spirit, coming in, fight's breaking out, Terrorblade moving in, Storm Spirit zipping in, gets the pull, gets put to sleep. There's a stun from Slardar on the carry. There's a Duel looking to kill the Disruptor. Doesn't look like... Nope, he got the kill on the Disruptor. Storm Spirit's down, 5 on 3, Radiant advantage, and the Dire's just going to look to disengage. So Dire saying, fuck this, we're out, we've lost too much. We've lost a core, we've lost our support. They still have a 2k lead. Slardar going back to farm. Gyrocopter going to the triangle, taking out the Ancients. And then we just have a little bit of farming coming here from Radiant. They're position 4 Weaver taking care of the creep wave so that they can push this bottom tower. This is how fast Dota goes. I don't know how people announce this shit. It's insane. Terrorblade popping a... Oh, he must have something that gives him a BKB whenever he activates it. Maybe when he activates meta because of something? I'm not sure. Oh, no, he got pressed the attack by the Legion Commander. Okay. Which if Legion Commander has that shard, when they press, they get a BKB. All right, so Yapzor attaching to the Gyrocopter, doing some farming up in the jungle. We've got a little bit of nothing out here in the mid lane. Just the Void Spirit farming the creep waves. Zai up top playing his Slardar, looking for some action around here. Not really doing much. Manta by Terrorblade, sending out those illusions to scout and farm, looks like in the triangle. Radiant pushing the off lane. Dire is also pushing the off lane. Or Dire's, they're both pushing their safe lanes, rather. Radiant is pushing the Dire's off lane. You can tell how much I do this. Storm Spirit's moving in, they're a little bit split, and it looks like right here, Void Spirit's kind of protecting this push on their top lane. Their tower is down to about 25% health, so they really probably want to capture that tier 1 tower. We're past half an hour into the game, and they don't have that objective yet. Getting that tier 1 tower reduces the ability for Radiant to respond if they were to go after this Roshan, which Rosh is going to be up in 23 seconds. Both the teams probably know this. There is a randomized respawn for Roshan, so after you kill him, he comes back after a random period of time. Both teams know about when he's going to come up, so look for that to be the next objective in this game. So the Dire team now pushing down the safe lane. They've already gotten the objective, so there's not much but farm that's going to be coming down here. We've got their position 3 farming here. He's looking to buy his shard, Aghanim's shard. So if there's a scepter and a shard, if they have those, these two will light up and just provide some additional abilities for your hero. Gyrocopter, he has a scepter, and that just makes it so he's constantly shooting at everything near him. It's great. At least it used to. Pretty sure it's the same thing. Yep, same thing. So here's a push on the top tower. The Radiant team is really capturing objectives. They have, looks like 2 outer towers for the Dire. But that's not where you want to be. However, it's still anyone's game here. It's less than a 1k gold lead after 33 minutes in. That's absolutely nothing. Heartbreaking, they checked Roshan just 12 seconds before it's up. They were in a pretty good position to take it, but Radiant also, it looks like they know that Roshan's going to be coming up soon. So they're looking for a smoke rotation in order to take out some of the Dire team before that happens. They know if the Disruptor's around a little, at the very least, because that was there. So they've got a good sense of where he is. Disruptor, locked down, dueled, he's dead. Immediate buyback. If you're dead, you can pay money to come back to life. Very important fight, Disruptor knows that. There's the Earth Splitter coming in from the Elder Titan. Disruptor ult, he's already back in the fight. Not doing much. Terrorblade still sitting pretty. The fight is pretty well split up. Matuma Man getting in there on his Gyrocopter. He's doing a lot of damage. Void Spirit locked down, gone. Will the Void Spirit buy back? He has it available by this gold outline here. Dire team is now chasing down the Radiant. Slardar able to get the Elder Titan. Elder Titan is down. Buyback coming in from the Void Spirit. And that is going to force the retreat from the Dire, it looks like. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. Zai is still chasing down, but Matuma Man still going in. He's got the stun on the Weaver. Weaver locked down. Not enough lockdown. Weaver uses his ultimate. Presses that R button. Good. But they were able to lock him down again. Buybacks from both Weaver and Elder Titan now. Will that be enough to get the Dire team to retreat? No. Legion Commander going in on the Disruptor again. This could be a dieback. It's a dieback. Longer respawn time. Storm Spirit going in. Slardar locked down by the Void Spirit. Slardar is going down. There is Lotus on Terrorblade. Nisha is sitting in the jungle. TP's out. He's back home. Will we see Void Spirit die back to Matuma Man? Matuma Man sitting at about half health with his Satanic up, being healed by the IO. He's going in. He's pressuring. He's going after that Terrorblade. If Terrorblade dies here, it would be a huge fight for the Dire. He tries for the sleep, but he has a BKB, making him immune to that magic damage. That is a dieback from the Elder Titan coming in. So, huge fight. Absolutely massive fight. Tons of diebacks, tons of actions. Really hard to see what was going on. So here we have a fight recap. 3 buybacks on the Radiant, 2 buybacks on the Dire. Gold change, they got about an extra 2,000 gold out of that compared to the Dire team, and double the experience. Huge fight for the Dire. Huge fight for the Dire. That might be the swing of the game. Transitioning that to take the Roshan so they can give it to either Matuma Man or Nisha. Nisha could really benefit from it. He's probably just going to take the cheese. Okay. Yep, Matuma Man takes the Aegis. I'm pretty sure that... wow, Nisha didn't take the cheese. Oh, Io has the cheese. No, there was no cheese dropped. Okay, my bad. It wasn't a cheese Roshan, I guess. So now we're going to see a little bit of a reset, waiting for everyone to respawn. Gyro has the Aegis, so now The onus is on the Radiant to defend here, coming up. So we're probably going to see them try and turtle a little bit, not be too aggressive on the map. You see here, they're sticking to their triangle. Terrorblade is just going to try and farm here. It's relatively safe. They have the vision of this tier 1 tower here, the tier 2 tower here. They're missing this, but it's not too bad. If somebody's going to come in, it's going to have to be through this ramp right here pretty much, or like this ramp up here. There's another duel coming in from the Legion Commander, another fight. Legion Commander gets it, takes down the Storm Spirit. Terrorblade sundering in his own LC, so that way he can get his health back. They take down that tier 1 tower, outer tower. So now there's a little bit less vision for them. It's a little less safer for them to farm their triangle. They're getting objectives. They're getting money for their team. The Gyrocopter has passed the Terrorblade in net worth. The next two closest are both Dire heroes. So the Dire cores are looking really good. And the Radiant supports, I mean, Weaver, if you're counting Weaver as a support, I mean, he's position 4, so he's not getting farm. He's not doing much. I don't understand why they're position 4 Weaver. Doesn't matter. It's not my call to make. So, again, Dire is probably going to be looking to get themselves positioned pretty aggressively here, considering that they have an extra life. As soon as Storm Spirit comes back, they're looking a little bit in the jungle. They could probably get a good pick off if somebody were out of position, but knowing that this is TI, there's not going to be somebody out of position. As soon as Storm Spirit comes back, they're going to be pushing an objective, most likely. These two remaining outer towers in mid and on top lane here, likely what they would go for. They're pushing in this bottom lane to get some pressure on the racks, probably so that they can go off and push another objective while Radiant is busy farming the creeps that are coming through.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
7k net worth lead for the Dire team. Despite being behind 4 kills. So as you can see, kills are not the most important thing here. Farming efficiently, definitely more important. There is a neutral item that was just sitting on the ground there. That's kind of funny. Must have gotten interrupted during the fight. As you can see, they pushed down the outer tower there. This outer tower, last remaining outer tower, full health though. So that's something that's a little bit. So the Radiant is being forced into their base step by step. The Dire able to get a little bit more freedom, especially considering they still have that Aegis on Gyrocopter. Storm Spirit, a little bit of a stack here in the jungle, like I was pointing out before. He's just going to quickly farm that, move on. They're still pressuring this bottom lane, so they're going pretty hard for a push on the enemy racks. They feel like they're ahead. They feel like they can take it. The Radiant doesn't have the greatest deep pushing lineup. They're pretty decent, and as you can see, they have the Gyrocopter very forward here. He has the Aegis, he's not afraid of death. They have the IO supporting him, so he's a pretty tanky target to try and take down. So they're definitely going to want to lead with him, have everybody well behind, so Gyrocopter is the only one that could be initiated on. As we can see here, there's a split push coming in from the Radiant, and they've gotten the tier 3 tower inside their base on the top lane, and they're starting to push that ranged Rax. So while all this is happening down here, okay, it looks like it's going to be a partial Rax trade. They've sent somebody back. Who did they send back? Oh, they sent back the Slardar. So they lost their ranged Rax up here. The Dire team has not lost anything. It's really close, though. The ranged barracks is as good as dead. It doesn't regenerate health. The melee barracks does. So Radiant actually got the better trade out of that just by split pushing with the Terrorblade. But the damage is kind of done here. It looks like Radiant is going to have to play a little bit cheeky, a little bit rat Dota, if they want to stay in this game, which they're doing a great job of. The lead has dropped down another 1k. Gyrocopter is still huge, though. He's bought a butterfly. He's waiting for the agency to expire before he equips that. We have tier 4 neutral items on the ground. In play, rather. So that's going to be pretty huge. Slardar just defending the base here. There's still another 40 seconds on the Aegis. So that's probably just going to time out. When the Aegis times out, you just get all of your health and mana back. Just a very quick regen on that. Slardar, he has a Heaven's Halberd, so that can come into play against the Terrorblade during the fights. It's undispellable as long as you get it on before he turns on the BKB. So that's pretty nice. They're really just doing like a 4 protects 1 on Matumba Man here. He's reached level 25. Their talents at level 10 for every 5 levels. You get to pick one or the other, and they make your hero a lot stronger. Level 25 talents are usually absurd. As you get to level 30, which is the level cap, you get all of the talents that you didn't pick up. So Matumba Man is in really strong position. Going in for Smoke Gank, moving into the Radiant Triangle. The Radiant is also moving into the Radiant Triangle. They could meet here. Huge stun on 2 by Zai. Gyrocopter comes in, he finishes off the Elder Titan. Zai continuing to chase. Zai is able to lock down the Void Spirit. Void Spirit Yule's up. No more spells thanks to the Disruptor. He's down. We have a 5-on-3 on the field for the Dire. Radiant just moving back into their base. They're going for this last outer tower. Last outer tower is down. There's no buyback on either of these two heroes with an 11k net worth lead. They're definitely going to be trying pushing this top lane of Rax, and if they get this, they're also getting that bottom lane no problem. So clearing out the creep wave. They still have the catapult back there. That's important. This tower is melting under that Gyrocopter. Look at that damage. Zai sitting back to initiate. Here comes a Terrorblade illusion. They've got the top lane of Rax. Still 43 seconds left on the Void Spirit before he comes back. So again, Gyrocopter just sitting up top. He still has his Satanic available. He has got the Butterfly to reduce some of the damage coming in. And he has the IO. Coming in for the Duel. Wow, look at him. He was melting a little bit, but he was able to get it off. What happened to the Gyrocopter? He got moved back. The IO looks like he pulled him in and saved him. Was that a reload? That was a relocate. Okay, yeah. He got relocated out. Healing up with his Satanic. Damage is done. One lane of Rax gone there. For basically nothing. 2 buybacks available on the field, Legion Commander and the Void Spirit. Radiant sitting really high on a 14k net worth lead now. Roshan not up for another minute and a half, just about. So they could sit and wait for that, or they could try and pressure in this bottom lane of Rax, which is already almost gone. It wouldn't surprise me to see them go for that bottom lane of Rax at this point. They have a strong advantage on the field right now. What else? Okay, so Storm Spirit, he's got a silencing stick, he has a slowdown stick. Not a whole lot else to speak of. He has his Aghanim Scepter, and he's going for a Lincoln Sphere. Lincoln Sphere passively stops one spell that comes in towards you every 14 seconds. So somebody tries to stun you, and you just go, nah, I don't want that. So yep, like I said, they're rotating into the bottom racks. They have 2 lanes of creeps coming in really nice. Gyrocopter, again, sitting at the front. He just has to ping. There goes that ranged racks. Here goes the melee racks. Okay, they now have 1 lane of racks left. If you get all of your racks destroyed, all of your barracks destroyed, then the enemy team gets what's called mega creeps. And those are really, really big versions. They're like 5 times stronger than the normal creeps coming in from every single lane. So right now, things are looking dire for the Radiant, so to speak. We've got a double damage rune on the Gyrocopter here that's huge. Roshan has spawned. If they peek their head in right now... Oh, no. Okay. There's still 51 seconds left till Roshan spawns. That was just until he could spawn. So random timer was another minute. So Gyrocopter right now is a force to be reckoned with. He is dealing like 600 damage, which is absurd. Let's look at how much damage the Disruptor is dealing. Disruptor is dealing 132. So he deals 4 times as much damage, probably 3 times as often as the Disruptor does. Bounty Rune picked up for the Radiant. We have an 18k lead. It's getting pretty absurd. Dire would need something really, or Radiant would need something really good to stage a comeback here. They're kind of slamming down the middle lane. No smoke, no anything. Not a whole lot of vision coming in. The Radiant, or the Dire team rather, they're moving in. They see the Void Spirit. Void Spirit able to get his Dissimulate away. They're safe. Oh, but there's a glimpse coming in. BKBs it off. All right, all right. Both teams just kind of pushing back. Looks like they might be waiting for Roshan, get a little bit more farm going. Yep, getting some jungle farm. Roshan has spawned now. They see it, so Secret is probably going to capture this. This one is Aegis, Cheese, and Scepter. If they were to give that Scepter on the Disruptor, it'd be huge, but there's a fight breaking out. Gyrocopter actually manages to go down for 100 seconds. Buybacks immediately. Storm Spirit coming in, he gets a great pull on basically the entire Radiant team. Can they capitalize on that? Nisha doing work. Void Spirit walled off by that Disruptor. Zai coming in, he's trying to go for the bashes, but he's going to get taken down by the Terrorblade pretty quick here. He buys back immediately, he jumps back in, TP's back in. They know that the Roshan's up. Roshan, if Radiant could get this Roshan, if they can contest this, that would be huge. Everyone's up on the field. There are a lot of buybacks used right there. How many? So, okay, we have 1 buyback for the Radiant, 2 for the Dire team, one of which is on their position 1, so they don't want to let this Gyrocopter go down again. They might play this Aegis a little bit safer, but knowing that it's, you know, TI territory, they might also just YOLO push with it. So, this Gyrocopter is looking real strong. Terrorblade has actually managed to pass him up in net worth yet again, so Terrorblade is sitting fat. There's a cheese on Slargar, which I definitely don't agree with. Cheese gives you a huge boost to hit points and magics. If you put it on Io, you can basically heal back up to full anyone on your team, or if you put it on Storm Spirit, he can jump, you know, like all the way across the map. They are going to be pushing with this Aegis. A little bit risky considering the Gyrocopter would have a dieback, but they'd have to kill him twice, which would be a hell of a thing to do with an Io back there. They've got him sleep, they set up the field, Legion comes in for the duel, able to do a lot of damage, not enough, Gyro wins it, but he does use his Aegis. Void Spirit moving in, the rest of the Dire team sitting back behind the front lines, Gyrocopter moves in, he's taunted, he's stunned, he's got his Satanic off, so he's going in hard, he pops his BKB. They're able to take down the tower. They're looking to put down the rack. Storm Spirit goes in. He's able to get a pull on basically the entire Radiant team. He gets put to sleep by the Elder Titan. Zai comes in. He gets a bash. Retreat. There's only one Rax, the melee barracks that's laying between Dire and Mega Creeps. Big fight. Storm Spirit's down. That's probably going to be their key to reset. They want to wait for that core to come back, so just getting a retreat out while they can. They're still farming in the jungle. Aegis is down. Cheese is still up on Zai. This is fun. Keeping in mind, yes, I am unabashedly rooting for Team Secret. I love Team Secret. So I love them like I love old Navi. They have a lot of fun with their games. So Elder Titan now has a 100% cleave. Who cares? Why didn't he go for Echo Stomp? The world may never know. Void Spirit buying up a Dagon. That's just a lot of pure magical damage. Wonder why he's doing that. Who is he looking to burst down? Maybe the supports? He's just trying to take down the Disruptor and the IO. You really have to focus on the backlines for the IO if you want to be able to take down this Gyrocopter. So that does make some amount of sense. 44 seconds for the Storm Spirit. Next Roshan is going to be like 6 minutes away. We're probably not going to see it this game. I don't imagine it's going to be an objective that's important enough based on pushing in this last lane of racks in the next 5 minutes. Gyrocopter is sitting on 60 duel damage, so this Legion Commander has really kind of been feeding the enemy team. How much does she have herself? 210. Never mind. Point rescinded. So this Legion is actually pretty stacked. The Legion has infinite scalability, but if the enemy is able to beat you in the duel, then you get the damage. Again, net worth. There's a fight between these two, but the next three are Dire. Dire has 4 out of the top 5 slots in net worth. They're least farmed, second least farmed. Their puppy, their position for support, is higher than their mid lane right now. That's not a good place to be in. Divine Rapier coming out from Gyrocopter. Wow. They have a commanding lead of this game. I do not think that they need to go for that, but apparently Secret feels different. The Divine Rapier gives you 350 damage. If you die, it drops on the ground. It's a fumble. Whoever picks it up gets to keep it. And from that point forward, that's how the game goes. You cannot trade it to other people on your team, so you can't have like Yapzor. He couldn't buy a Divine Rapier and like give it to Gyrocopter and be like, yo, you use this. But as soon as it hits the ground, whoever picks it up gets it. So it's a very risky item, very swingy. But as you see here, this Gyrocopter is doing, what is that, 6, 7, 800 some damage with every single right click. He is critting for 1900 damage. So for reference, he is critting for... He's critting for an Elder Titan. He could one-shot the Elder Titan if armor were not a thing. So he's dealing a ton of damage in fights. Plus he will be able to heal off of that with his Satanic. Now Disruptor's getting out in the mid lane here. He is able to get saved by, I think, a Glimmer Cape looks like. 2-man sleep by the Elder Titan. Good chance for an initiation. Are they going to capitalize on it? Yes, they are. Void comes in. He tries to shock down the Disruptor. Isn't able to fully get him. Does get the taunt. Disruptor is going to be fine, though. He's able to just back off. Disengagement from both teams coming here. And Dire backing off to their jungle. Radiant just kind of sitting here at their mid lane, doing a little pudge position, taking a look, seeing if anyone wants to come for the bait. No one's coming. Continuing to farm the jungle. They might be saving up for buyback on some of their cores on the Dire team. Radiant team, let's look at the buyback status here, because that's more important here. No buyback on Gyrocopter for another 2.5 minutes. No buyback on Terrorblade by 1500 gold. Storm Spirit can, Disruptor can, Slardar cannot. So like I said, if you die, if you have enough money, and if you haven't bought back recently, then you're able to buy back. So there's smoke coming in from the Radiant team. They see an Observer Ward. They're going to take that out. Should be a good clue to the Dire team that someone's in their jungle. May not know exactly who. We're sitting at 50 minutes into the game. 1 Rax remaining for the Radiant. Huge amount of push potential coming through. The Dire team is smoked. Where are they going to go for? Are they going for the jungle or the triangle? If they go for the jungle, they're not going to find shit. If they go for the triangle, they'll find the entire Radiant team. So, risky proposition either way. What they could do is they could try and cut this last wave and move in through through mid, but no, it looks like they're pushing mid. Important thing I didn't note before, you can only damage buildings if creeps are nearby, otherwise there's backdoor protection. At this point, it doesn't matter because Gyro can burst through just about anything. Taking the shrine, or outpost, whatever you want to call it. So they've got good map control. They're just waiting on their opportunity, waiting for some kind of initiation, some kind of big fight to be able to close in, get mega creeps, and finish off the game. At this point, even with mega creeps, Terrorblade could probably be able to push through. Not sure really on the other heroes if they'd be able to push out the waves enough to keep things going, but it's at a point in the game where mega creeps is not a death sentence. At like 20, 30 minutes, there's no way you can resist it. With the right heroes at like 30, 35, 40 minutes, yeah, you can push back against megas. With this team comp, it would be tricky but possible for them to do so. If they get a good fight in their base, they're able to wipe out 5, buybacks come in, able to wipe it out with maybe some buybacks of their own, just reposition. They could easily take Throne at this point. So it's a large advantage for the Radiant, but the game is by no means over at this point. Terrorblade does have his buyback now. They're waiting on Gyrocopter's buyback. That's got to be it. They're waiting another 40 seconds, another 2,000 gold so that Gyro can buy back. With the Rapier, very important. If they lose the team fight, the Gyro goes down, can't buy back, Terrorblade gets a Rapier, he's just moving in and he's taking everything, and there's probably not a whole lot these guys can do about it. I say that, they do have really good lockdown. But within a BKB duration, it would be tricky. Let's just say that much. It would be tricky. Legion Commander, not a whole lot of items on her at this point. Looking to build an AC, reduce some of the armor of the enemies, make those duels go a little bit better. She needs to not prioritize that Gyrocopter. She needs to be prioritizing the backline, taking out Yapsor or Puppy in this case. I mean, even Nisha, if you're able to lock him down, you might be able to burst him. He does have a Shivas, so that might be a little bit easier said than done. Both teams sitting really close to the river at this point. No one really going in. Storm Spirit checking out Roshan. Still another 14 seconds before it can spawn, I believe. So a little bit early on his check there, but still pretty dang close. Slardard is pushing out midwave here. Puppy farming the triangle. Or Matumba Man farming the triangle, my bad. Checking on Roche, 37 seconds. So close but no cigar. Zai moving in. Radiant just stuck in their base at this point. One building short of being a real uphill climb. Not much to say at this point that I haven't already said, but really hoping that Radiant's able to pull this out. Let's look at Gyro's farm for a second. I'm just curious how much farm he's gotten. 777 creeps. So he's just about at 8,000 creeps farmed this game, which is a lot of farm. My highest is like 300 creeps farmed, and that's probably like a 90-minute game. I am not as efficient as these guys are. Okay, smoke play coming in from the Radiant, moving towards the Roche pit. Dire has vision on Roche respawning, so here's a big fight. They got the silence off. Duel coming in on Puppy, but they're able to burst down the Legion Commander. Legion Commander with buyback. Void Spirit goes down for 120 seconds, no buyback. Terrorblade goes down 100 seconds. He has to buy back if they want to win this game. Looks like... Oh, Terrorblade also had a Divine Rapier, which has now been picked up by the Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter now dealing 1,100 damage per click. Jesus. Only one remaining left on the Radiant team. They are taking Roshan. There's nothing they can do about it. Terrorblade buying back into the game. Is he going to TP in? Legion Commander coming in. They've got to figure that they have to take out this Roshan if they want to have any chance of winning the game. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to contest it. Definitely not in time if they do. Goes to Matumba Man, who now has the Aegis, 2 Rapiers, Butterfly Daedalus, and Satanic. Coming in like a tank. Elder Titan's still not buying back. He knows he has to. There's 2 cheeses on the Dire team. They're looking pretty. They're coming in. Here's the death push coming in. Last lane of Rax. Going to be going down in like 3 seconds. Wah, wah, wah. Gone. That's mega creeps. 55k, 56k advantage for the Dire team. Unheard of advantage for the Dire team. There's mega creeps. Effigy's destroyed. The only thing left is 2 tier 4 towers and the Ancient. They're still playing pretty conservatively, I have to say, with that huge of a lead. Enemy team, the Radiant team just sitting there. They're chipping away at these towers, just staying as far away as possible, staying out of initiation range, leaving their supports behind in order to counter gank. Legion Commander comes in, dies almost immediately. Storm Spirit, great pull on 3, disables them, no buybacks. This game is over. That is a game of Dota 2. What a fun one it was. So Secret able to win. So I hope with all that, maybe this was somewhat educational. I don't know. I love this game so much. You can probably look forward to me playing it, and coming up pretty soon, I'm probably going to be doing a little bit more of this like casting stuff. Might just be following Team Secret and a few others, but I enjoy the hell out of it. I hope that the front half was kind of educational, and I hope that the back half was maybe entertaining. So with that, I will sign off. Thank you for watching, and yeah, hope you guys have a good one.